Chapter 45. Now it is written, And Hashem Elohim made for Adam and his wife cloaks of skin, or, and garb them. This refers to the aspect of the chashmal of Noga, which encompasses Zer Anpin and Nukva, Malchut of Atzilut, which are called Adam and his wife. That encompasses them until below their feet is known. Now, in the Torah scroll of Rabbi Meir, this was written with an aleph, that is or, light. This refers to the upper radiance, as it states, he covers himself with light as a garment. This being after the rectification of the 288 sparks, etc. Now, we must first have some understanding into the explanation of the matter of the shattering and rectification of the vessels in general. This took place in the aspect of the letters, which are called vessels. They shattered and fell because of the overabundance of light which they were incapable of containing, as stated in Eitz Chaim, and like the verse, you cause the sea, the yam, to fragment with your might. This refers to the aspect of the tohu, the chaos, wherein the aspect of the letters fragmented, this being called the shattering of the vessels, shvirat hakelim, as known. The reason for this, as known, is analogous to a deep conceptual light which transcends the limitations of the organ of the brain. Then the letters of the thought of the concept will certainly become confused because of their inability to contain the light, since it is too great for them. The opposite is true when the organ of the brain is able to contain the light of the deep concept. On the contrary, it becomes limited, settled and concealed within these letters that it absorbed. However, when they are incapable of containment, then of necessity the letters become fragmented. This is as explained elsewhere at length, that it is like when a word falls short of containing the great light of meaning that is within it. Its letters scatter here and there until nothing at all can be understood from them. An example is the word vayomer, and he said. When it cannot contain the depth of its intended meaning, its letters scatter, and all that remains is vav and mem, out of order and displaced. This is similar to the letters of the fleeting thoughts of the heart during the day. They become disjointed, displaced, and out of order when one dreams at night. They come about from the combinations of thoughts one thinks during the day, but out of order. Rather, they come in a jumble, one letter from this word and another letter from this word, etc. Therefore, dreams speak nonsense, as explained elsewhere. This fragmentation is called a shattering, shvira, into many small parts. This is because when a letter that's separated unto itself comes elsewhere, it only contains an exceedingly diminished portion of the full concept as the word was in its complete form, etc. Moreover, it undergoes one fragmentation after another until it becomes completely alienated from its original meaning. This may be compared to the matter of dreams that come from the thoughts of one's heart during the day. However, one cannot dream of an elephant going through the eye of a needle, but rather only reflections of the thoughts of his heart during the day, as discussed elsewhere regarding Joseph's interpretation of dreams, and as will be explained. Likewise, we may understand how it is supernally in regard to the matter of the shattering of the vessels of the lights of Tohu, chaos, that it is in an aspect of the fragmentation and scattering of their letters, as is stated, you scattered the sea, etc. This is to say that they fell lower and lower until they came into an aspect of being, an alien garment. This is the root of the matter of the coming into being of the aspect of the garment of the chashmal, etc., which is called the garments of skin, or. Now, as known, these skins are the aspect of the three kinds of letters thought, speech, and action, which are rooted in the letters of the vessels of Tohu, chaos, that fragmented and fell down, thus making the aspect of an encompassing garment to garb the aspect of the emotions of man, etc., and although it became an aspect of a separate garment, its root is from above the source of the intellect of Bina, as it is in the emotions. This also is the aspect of the externality of Bina that hovers over the chicks to protect them, etc., which is from the aspect of the encompassing light of Bina in the aspect of the previously discussed closed mem. This will suffice for the understanding. Now, to understand this with additional explanation, it is known that this is also the root of the matter of analogies, such as the 300 analogies of Rabbi Meir, etc. in that the root of the analogy is higher than the analogue, as are the analogies of Solomon, which are exceedingly deep concepts of wisdom. They thus do not have an aspect of vessels of letters, except through being enclosed in matters that are very separate from the essential wisdom. It is specifically there in the analogy that the depth of the wisdom may be grasped, just as one grasps the depth of a concept. This may only be accomplished specifically through analogy, for it cannot be grasped even with abundant explanations, etc. Moreover, for an analogy to be made specifically according to the analogue, it must of necessity reach the depth and source from which the analogue comes out. If not, the analogy will not be in line with the analogue altogether as known. This being the case, the root of the analogy is in the source concept of the analogue and higher than it. For this reason, it states, "The world of the wise and their riddles, that commensurate to the depth and source of the wisdom, so will be the depth of the riddles and analogies, such as the analogies of Rabbi Meir and the analogies of Solomon." This is explained elsewhere regarding the verse, "And he spoke 3,000 proverbs." That is, each analogy was an analogy for the previous analogy, as explained in the Zohar that the very last analogy contains the very first depth and source of the analogue, etc. The same holds true of the root of the aspect of letters. It is specifically through them that the light of the intellect is grasped well, etc. This may similarly be understood regarding the light of the intellect becoming concrete, to the degree that it comes to be concretely grasped and explained on the lowest level. It is specifically there that the aspect of the depth and inner light of the intellect itself is grasped, etc. The above is also the case with the aspect of the externality of Bina, from which is made the aspect of the Chashmal garment of Bina. It is regarding this that it states, "And he made cloaks of skin, or etc., which is the aspect of the protector of the intellect within the emotions, so as not to come to an aspect of error. It is from this that the placenta for the fetus is made, etc. This is as explained at length elsewhere, regarding the matter of the mother spreads her wings, etc., and regarding the matter of Bas Shalom in peace, which is the same letters as Malbush, garment, etc., and regarding the matter of the Sechach, covering of the Sukkah and the like. This will suffice for the understanding.